Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back here to the Light to the Nations. It's a blessing, like always, like every week, to be with you here with the idea, with the desire of the heart to share the word of YaHuWaH, to study together the word of YaHuWaH, and this amazing journey, this amazing book of the Devarim. You know, we're almost at the end of the book, and it's always good to review and to check and to read again the stories and the Torah of YaHuWaH, the story of the first generation of Israel, the second generation of Israel, and to see what YaHuWaH is bringing to our hearts in this generation, the generation we are. So we are prepared. We are prepared in order to follow the way of YaHuWaH. We are prepared learning the truth of His word, in order to be obedient to His truth, in order to follow the step of Yahushua HaMashiach. So today we'll continue. I think it's in the chapter 31.
Yeah, only one chapter.
Only one chapter. So we will see what the Abba is bringing to our hearts.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That I was thinking about something, but now I forgot.
You forgot?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was that. What it was? It was that.
Maybe you want to say hi,
yeah,
shalom.
for every one of you that are in the four corners of the earth. Yeah, we feel that we are family. That no matter how the distance that we have, we are together. And I know that maybe for you is the same. That when we are reading this, every chapter, every Torah portion, we can feel and we can relate with them what is happening in that moment with Israel, and sometimes it's the same that we are living or experiencing. So the words that we are going to read today, they are so important. We're going to maybe see parallels with Yahushua, with our lives, with Israel, how Abba is having all this love for us, that He is fighting with us, for us, and before us. Yeah, so happy to see all your names, and it's really a blessing for us.
Thank you so much. With so many names here, and I see we see Shannon also coming back. So it's good to see you, dear sister.
Arthur, Cornelia, Camila, Watai, yeah, James, Coletti. Yeah, the Colettis. Yeah, JJ. Ooh.
So many of you.
Tucker. Yeah.
So, you know, I think this is going to be a kind of, since it's only one chapter, it's going to be a straightforward one.
Yeah.
We'll try to see, we are going to read the chapter as we always do. We'll see what the Ruach is bringing to our hearts. I see you have many notes.
No, with big letters, but few.
Yeah, but there's a lot of notes. You have a lot to share with Joy. You know, she thinks that she doesn't have, and she has a lot of notes.
Yeah, but I have to write in big letters.
We need to keep praying for everybody. We need to keep praying for the entire generation of Israel of these times. We have had the opportunity to check some information that was sent to us about the signs on the heavens, and it's quite compelling, you know, to see everything that's going on in the sky, you know, with the luminaries. And we know that Allah created the luminaries for signs, for seasons, in order to determine the times, but also not about the calendar only. It's about His plan of restoration. And there are many things happening in the sky, as we were discussing a few weeks ago. And we know that we're in that season of the Moedims, that we just celebrated Yom Teruah this week. And I know some of you also celebrated Yom Teruah. Some other people, because of differences in the calendar, are celebrating today, I think, or this weekend. Others are celebrating next week. But even though the difference of the calendar, we need to recognize that we are in that season of the Moedim. And we know that this season is really important, prophetically speaking. So together with what we are seeing in the luminaries, the signs on the heavens, we need to be quite attentive to what Abba is showing us. We need to keep praying for wisdom, for understanding. And most importantly for strength, and I think we're gonna touch base on this on the portion of today, is that there's no doubt that we are getting closer and closer to the restoration of all things, to the second coming of Mashiach. And I can see Pam mentioning in the chat about the asteroid names, and it's exactly what we saw. There's a few asteroids with important names that are somehow connected to the prophetic word of the times we are living. And if we take a look also in the news, what's going on in the world, we see that there are so many discussions about new restrictions that could come. Also, we see wars and rumors of wars that is going to escalate and increase. We can get somehow overwhelmed sometimes because things are happening
really fast,
and by the day are the new things happening. We should not be in fear, and again, it's some of the topics we're gonna touch base in the portion today. We need to, as I have been always sharing with you, we need to keep an eye open, just watching everything, just to take a look on what's going on. But we need to know that if we are under the coverage of YaHuWaH, there's nothing to fear. To the contrary, we need to be empowered by the Ruach of Elohim in order to produce fear on the nations. And what's the purpose to produce fear on the nations? Is for them to have, their eyes open to see the truth of the kingdom of YaHuWaH, so they can do Teshuvah. So we know that the fear of the world is just to cause us to go astray from the way. But the fear of YaHuWaH is to cause something else. It's just to produce conviction, is to open the eyes of the people to see Him, to know Him, is to come back to His ways. So let's keep our Mishpacha, the entire Israel, not the Mishpacha here that we are blessed to meet only every week, is the entire people of YaHuWaH in this generation. People that maybe they are not fully awakened to the full truth of Torah, but they had a true heart for Elohim. Maybe some of them are still in Christianity, and they have not been able to see the entire light of the entire word of YaHuWaH yet, but they have a true heart for YaHuWaH, even though that they don't know Him by His name. We need to pray for them. We need to pray for the other brothers and sisters around the world that they have been following the way of YaHuWaH. They have been awakened in the same way that we have been waking up all these years to the word of YaHuWaH. We need to pray for each one of them. We were reading last week, I think, in the chapter 30 about the great second Exodus. And it is written is that when we are coming back to YaHuWaH with all our hearts, remembering, though no matter where we are in the world, in the four corners of the earth, coming back to YaHuWaH with a sincere heart is when He's going to make us return to Him physically, is when He's going to gather us to Him. And we know that the regathering is going to come by the hand of Yahushua when He sends His Malachim, His messengers, in order to guard and gather the chosen one. So, but there's the first condition is that we need to come back to Him with all our hearts, remembering Him. And that's why we need to pray for one another. We are in the dispersion. We need to pray for one another, even though that we don't know them. We know they are somewhere. You just were telling me before we started the broadcast that you heard hitting
in the condominium somebody from
in
another building. Maybe 3 buildings away or 4 buildings away. Somebody was blowing the shofar. So
and doing a teruah song.
So it was not just because of playing.
So there is a neighbor here that we don't know where it is. We don't know him. That is celebrating Yom Teruah most probably today. So we don't know everybody, but we know YaHuWaH has kept a remnant for this season, for this time. And we need to pray for them even if we don't know them. Because in Yahushua, we are family for YaHuWaH. We are all children of YaHuWaH. So it's so important because the times are getting moving fast, and we have something to do. We have been prepared for such a time like this. So the least we can do is to pray for one another.
Yeah. The other day you were mentioning something that I really found it very beautiful.
Really?
Because it was
I don't remember what it is.
about sometimes when we are following YaHuWaH and Yahushua and learning about all this path, that when we are maybe somehow setting us apart in some way, leaving a lot of stuff from the world, but we have forgotten a lot of people that we have met. And maybe we have some opportunities to be with them again, but with a different approach, and maybe just showing them a kind of light. Because you were telling me, remember that Yahushua was not only speaking in the public places, he was also returning to some synagogues. So he was also talking there. Sometimes he was not very good received, and maybe it was, but maybe somebody was ready there just for, I don't know, left this place of ignorance. Sometimes maybe we can know somebody. Maybe we think, okay, I have to cut all this relationship with the people that I met before, but maybe they're just like imposed, or maybe they're like freeze for a moment. But sometime, or if we have the opportunity to be with them again, maybe now is the moment not to force them to learn about something, but maybe just to guide them. And all the learning process that we have received is so beautiful. Is like Abba was teaching us how to swim, I don't know, in the ocean or in the river, how to swim and not to be drowned. And now that we maybe know, some of us maybe in the best condition and other with more good techniques than other, but maybe now we can try to help somebody else, and maybe they don't know. So I think that maybe sometimes all the opportunities that we can have, I don't know, reunions, maybe visiting some places, or that maybe a friend that when you were little calls you and you have that kind of connections, you can have maybe a very good surprise and a beautiful one. Yeah. Sometimes they have been struggling in their own way, but maybe it's the time when we can tell them and share with them, well, there is a very beautiful way, that is a way that is leaving all the ignorance that we have been receiving from the world itself. So now is the time to see our Creator, who gave us life.
I think this is very important, and you're right. We have been talking about this for a while already. We see in the service of Yahushua, we see this also in the disciples, that they were not, and we talked last week about this, is that they were not in a cave.
Yeah.
They were going to...
They have to continue working.
Their families and friends, to their own tribes. They were going to the temple. They were going to the synagogues. They were trying to bring the light into darkness, especially, with the religious people. The religious people were the one that they were clinging so hard to their traditions that they didn't want to just to release them in order to embrace the truth. But even though that the Yahushua and the disciples were getting this opposition from them, they didn't step back. They continue going into those places in order to bring the light of the truth of the word of YaHuWaH. And we have been praying for that, and maybe this is something that you're bringing it. It's not because of coincidence. Maybe it's because we have to talk about this. We have been praying to Allah to guide us and to confirm if we have to do the same. And because we have been able to meet so many people through our lifetime, is that I do believe there is always a plan from YaHuWaH for us to meet people, and maybe there's something that we need to share with them. And should it be that maybe we should go to people that are in churches and to reach out to them in order to open and to approach them with the truth in the same way that the disciples were doing it? We don't know. We are praying for that. Because you know what I told you the other day is that we have always the concept that we need to reach out to those ones that are in darkness. But when we talk about those ones in darkness, we usually think in people that doesn't believe in anything. So people that are in paganism, people that they are the atheist, or people that doesn't know anything about it, about YaHuWaH, about YaHuShua, about the kingdom, about the word. But we completely forget about people that are in Christianity. And I came from Christianity, you came from another type of church. All of us, I think, we came from the religions of the world. And sometimes we completely forgot about them. And some of them are much closer to YaHuWaH
at
than
least
the
they
others.
have a base.
They have a foundation.
A foundation,
And why we have to forget them? Because we are so reluctant to know that we were in that those places, that we were forbidden to see the truth. It should be the opposite. Is that we should have a heart of compassion to see, okay, I came from those places, and because of the compassion of YaHuWaH, now I'm able to see the full truth. Though we don't know the full truth yet, but I'm in the way of truth. So why not to think that maybe in the same way that I was awakened by YaHuWaH, because he sent somebody, or he put me in the true track, using his servants in order to open my eyes. Why I cannot be a servant in the same way that somebody else was a servant to help me to get on track? Why I cannot be that type of servant in order to bring truth also for those people where I came from?
And I think that the best way to do it is that it, like Yahushua was saying, is like they see your light, that the light is going not to be hidden below something. It's not going to be covered. It's going to be seen by the rest. So it's like how you live, how the other person can perceive you. And I think that if maybe you can discuss this, I don't know, maybe with your family or with some friends, or I don't know if you still have friends or not, because I know that in this path we have lost maybe a lot of people, but some of them are still there, and maybe they can testify, or they can let you know that there was a change in you. And that change maybe is needed to be seen by some other people and to be perceived. So when somebody else is going to realize, wait, I really find that you have kind of an inner peace that I cannot see in the rest of the people that maybe are going to church, that are sharing with me. It's like, can you share with me the recipe or something like that? Yeah, of course. I have encountered the beautiful path that it was in front of me, but I never see it with the proper eyes, because always I was receiving a part of this. And now I was receiving the beginning, the middle part, the ending part, everything together. And if you want, you can receive this too. So it's sharing that experience.
Actually, I like it in the way that the emissary of Elohim put it. He wrote the following: light the candle rather than curse in the darkness.
Yeah.
And light more lights to light more candles.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what Yahushua was doing, he was partaking of his time with the sinners. That's why the religious people of the time, they were saying that how come this guy is, going to the houses and talking and eating with sinners.
Yeah.
But what is the problem with that? Actually, it's exactly what we have to do.
It's not that he was becoming like him.
Yeah, he was not partaking.
Different.
He was not partaking, and he was not committing sin. But how come he was going to shine his light? He was not going to the darkness.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that you are going there, that to be part of that.
But you are not in darkness.
You are bringing
the light.
And I don't know, with that perspective, it's more sense with the words of Yahushua. And he was saying, oh, I wish that the earth is going to be kindled already. I don't know how to say. But it's because he put a little light here, there, in a lot of places. So the idea is that all of them at one moment are going to start doing this, like it's like a fire,
like in the map we put in the introduction. In one moment I think this is going to fire up even more. So that's why we need to be prepared, and we need to do it. If we have the light, we need to go and try to light a candle, as Emissary of Elohim said, in those places that are dark. And those new candles are gonna do their part in order to light more candles.
And that's beautiful when we do this with the candles, representing how the Kohanim were doing when how do you say, cuando prendía la menorá?
They were lighting the menorah.
When they were lighting the menorah, and we do this like a representation of that with two candles, and we put the second candle that is not with light just near, but close enough that is really warm until it's está encendida.
It's light.
It's having the light by itself. Because if you put it too close to the other one, maybe both of them are going to be even. They can be. Yeah, se pueden apagar. Sorry, I don't know how to say that.
They are going to miss the light and the fire.
Yeah, so that is a very beautiful experience.
So we're praying about it. I think I will invite you to pray about the same, because we need to reach out as much people as we can, but we need to always be guided by the Ruach of Elohim on what we have to do, what part we have to do, how to serve YaHuWaH in these times. Is that we need to reach out to everyone. And there's so much beautiful people, even in Christianity, that they have a true heart for Elohim, but they have not been able to see the entire light. Maybe it's something we should do. Maybe it's something that we should go and reach out to them and to share the light. In the same way, following the examples of what Yahushua was doing, what the disciples were doing, and always relying on the guidance of the Ruach of Elohim. I think considering the times we're living, this is the most important task we have to take with responsibility. We need to give what we have been given. We need to share what has been shared with us. We need to be grateful of YaHuWaH, of what he has given us, understanding that what we have received is not ours. It's his. And the least we can do is to share it with more people. But we need to be cautious as well, is that we are not the owner of the truth. We are in the way of truth, learning day by day, and we will continue learning all the time. The only one that is the owner of the truth is the one that is the truth, and that's Yahushua. And even he himself, he said, I'm not speaking by myself. I'm speaking what I hear. I'm speaking what YaHuWaH, the Father, has put in me and has given me to speak. And even when he was talking about the Ruach of Elohim, he was saying exactly the same. I will send another helper. It is written in the book of Yahuchanan, John. And he, the new helper, is not going to talk about himself. He is going to speak and remind you about my words. And you know, this is a kind of it's a chain. The Ruach HaKodesh reminding us of the word of Yahushua, and Yahushua said, "It's not my words, are the words of Allah." So none of them are talking by themselves. They are talking the words that are coming from the mouth of YaHuWaH Elohim. So the words that we are going to share are not ours either. Is what the words that the Ruach is going to put in our hearts and are coming from YaHuWaH himself, understanding, as I was saying, that we are not the owner of the truth, it's YaHuWaH, the owner of the truth. And we need to be so humble is that we can share what we have received, but also being conscious that we need to have a teachable heart, that we can learn more things. And for sure, we will learn more things, that we can be rectified in the future for some things that maybe we're not being able to see it clearly now, but maybe later we're going to be able to see it clearly. And we need to be humble in order to repent, to do teshuvah, and to relearn. That's the attitude that YaHuWaH is asking and seeking from his children. Like a children, you know, we need to learn to walk. We are going to do mistakes. We are going to fall down, but we need to rise up and to continue walking until we learn. And he's so patient that he will wait for us in order to continue walking. If we are doing the same mistake one and another time and again,
because we're just stiff-necked,
yeah, that's a different thing. And we need to repent for that. But if we're walking and falling down because we have not received all the knowledge, he's patient in order to teach us. So that's the way we need to serve him. Because at the same time, we are not a master.
No.
We are a servant, but at the same time, we are learning. We are a disciple. It's kind of weird, you know? Disciple and also a servant. We are learning and sharing. We are learning and doing. But that's going to be the way till our transformation. Even till eternity, because Yahushua, he will continue guiding us even during his kingdom, even more during his kingdom. So, well, maybe you needed to hear this. I don't know why we were talking, because it doesn't, it's not related at all with the portion, but maybe somebody or most of you needed to hear this. We are, as I said, we are meditating and praying about this, because the desire of our heart is to serve him the most we can. We would love to have more time in order to do more. And sometimes we are discussing here openly is that what else we can do, you know? We both think and feel that we are doing too little, and maybe we can do even more, because the times that we're living requires from all of us to do more, not to be, as I said last week, in a cave, is to go out in order to shine the light of YaHuWaH. So pray about it and meditate about it. YaHuWaH will guide you with his Ruach. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Yeah.
What says Pam here? Did not the apostle do the same, learning and doing? Amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They were doing this. Actually, they were learning from the master, and they were doing, because they were sent by the master, and we already have the commandment from Yahushua, go into the world, do this. So we have a direct commission, instruction, work to do. Okay, so we have a song here to prepare for you. Let me put it in the screen. So let's listen to this song, and then we will continue with the portion. Here we go. Okay, so with this melody, let's pray together. YaHuWaH Eloheinu, we want to give thanks to you in this new Shabbat for the opportunity to give us once again to be gathered in this platform with the desire of our heart to study your word, to learn from you. We know that we have a true teacher, a true master, the one that is guiding us in all the truth because he's the truth. Our Rabbi, our Melech, our King, YaHuWaH HaMashiach. And we surrender our hearts to you, Abba, through him, asking you to guide us in your truth in this study, that you can light, your fire in our hearts, and you can guide us in order to fulfill your will and your desire through our lives, serving you in these times. The desire of our heart is to do your will, is to become your servants, to be out there in the world, in darkness, in order to bring your light. And this world is in such need of YaHuWaH, of your truth, of your righteousness, and your light. And we pray for them, for those that are lost. those that are lost, oh YaHuWaH, but they have a true heart for you, those that somehow feel within them that there's something more to this life, those that maybe have not heard about you, those maybe that know you but not completely, but they feel within them that there's something more from you and from your kingdom. We want to be humble before you. Or we want to recognize in this moment if we are here, if we have our eyes open, we have get to the knowledge of your truth, even though that we don't know your entire truth yet, but we are in the process. We want to acknowledge with the humility in our hearts that it's because of your compassion that we are here. It's because of your loving kindness, your chesed toward us. It's because of your love that you have taken us from the world and guide us to your true way. And we know that the true way, the true lie, and the truth is YaHuWaH, your Son. And with a humble heart, we pray to you that you can use us as your instruments and as your servants in order to bring that compassion that belongs to you to others. Because the number needs to be completed. The number of your chosen ones in these times needs to be completed. And we know that we're running out of time. But also we know that you are going to make the way for those that needs to be regathered in these times to be gathered to you. But we want to be part of that amazing plan. We want to do our part. Oh YaHuWaH, guide us in this study that we can see things that maybe we have not been able to see in the past. And you can teach us more of you, because we want to learn from you and we want to be like you are. I prayed in this moment for those that are going through difficulties, that you can give them a way out, that you can hear the voices of your people crying out to you, that you can guide their steps in order to get out of their difficulties. I pray for each one of your children that are going through some sicknesses and diseases, that you can touch them with your hand in this very moment. Your Son YaHuWaH said that we just need a small piece of faith, like the mustard seed. We don't need that much faith, that much emunah, in order to see your signs and wonders and your miracles. And your Son YaHuWaH commanded us to heal the sick in the same way that he did it. I pray in this moment with the emunah, the portion of emunah you have given to each one of us, that you can touch in this very moment those of your children that are sick, that are going through some illness, that you can heal their bodies, that you can bring restoration to their bodies. I pray for Darla in this moment. She's seeking your face for healing. Oh YaHuWaH, I ask you, oh YaHuWaH, that you can touch her kidneys in this moment, and you can restore the function the proper function of her kidneys in this moment. I pray for Tara, I pray for Debbie, and for each one of your sons and daughters that are going through some difficulties in their bodies. You are the one bringing healing, O YaHuWaH, and you have commanded us to bring your healing and your signs and wonders in these times. Thank you, Abba, because I can feel your presence in this moment. And I know that you are hearing our request. I pray, Abba, also for those that are going through some difficulties and some diseases and sicknesses in their emotions and in their hearts. Those that sometimes are not being able to be seen physically. That you can cut the bones and chains from the past. That you can bring restoration to their emotions. That you can heal those wounds from the past in order to be set free to serve you completely. In order, YaHuWaH, to let the presence of your Ruach HaKodesh flow within us. That you can bring restoration to each one of us, setting us free from traumas from the past. We want to have a clean temple for your Ruach HaKodesh, and the only one that can bring purity and cleanness is you. Guide us in this time, O YaHuWaH, in these last days, in order to seek your face with more focus, with all our strength, in order to serve you with all our hearts, because we are your people, YaHuWaH, and we want to serve you, and we want to love you, and we want to obey you, and we want to hear your voice and obey. Thank you for this time of prayer and for your presence among us, because we can feel you in our hearts, and we know that you are here with us. Thank you, we pray to you, and we lift up our voices as an offering to you. And we do it in the mighty name of your Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the part in 60 seconds.
Shalom and welcome to Parsha in 60 seconds. Today's portion is from Deuteronomy 31:130. It is called Vayelech, which means then he went out. It is Moses' 120th birthday, and going in and coming out is no longer possible for Moses. Crossing the Jordan River was not an option for Moses. God would destroy the nations ahead of them with Joshua. Moses encouraged the Israelites and Joshua to be strong and courageous, for God would go with them. Every 7 years during Sukkot, all Israel was to appear in a place that God would choose and read the law. As Moses is about to die from old age, God instructs Moses to call Joshua so that God can bless him. God appeared in a pillar of cloud over the door of the tent and tells Moses that he is about to die. The people freak out and rebel. To stop this rebellion, God directs Moses to write a song so the song might serve as a witness for God against the Israelites. After the song and the law was written, Moses commands the Levites who bore the Ark of the Covenant to take the book and put it by the side of the Ark. Moses knew that even that day people had been rebelling against God. And Moses spoke to all the assembly of Israel the words of the song. And that is Vayelech in 60 seconds.
Vayelech in 60 seconds. So let's move on.
And he went. That is the meaning of Vayelech.
Exactly. So let's go to Devarim chapter 31.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see that everything is in order.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's go here. Let me do something here as well, so we don't get distracted.
Yeah, we're going to hide for a while.
Yeah, just for a while. We're not gonna take a look in the chat.
Yeah.
You know, we want to get the focus on the word. We'll take a look in the chat at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have any question or comments to us, keep it till the end.
Yeah.
So here we go. So I should start first.
Yeah.
So it says the following: And Moshe went and spoke these words to all Israel. And he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to go out and come in. And YaHuWaH has said to me, You do not pass over this Jordan. YaHuWaH, your Elohim himself, is passing over before you. He shall destroy these nations from before you, and you possess them. YaHuShua himself is passing over before you, as YaHuWaH has spoken. Actually, I think we should go stop him for a while just to make some comments.
Yeah.
So this is a wonderful promise. You know, we know that he was talking about Yahushua ben Nun, but this is a
representation.
I think it's the perfect foreshadow. And unfortunately, our Jewish friends and brothers, they don't still see it. Not all of them, but most of them, is that he is a foreshadow. You know, it's even the name of the Messiah. Is the one that is going to lead the way in order to let Israel to inherit the promise.
And did you see that we are in the third position? Is YaHuWaH first, then Yahushua, and then us. So that's really beautiful. We have like a double protection there. They are doing all the
and it makes total sense. Why? Because Yahushua is the king. And the king, you know, was prophesied that he needs to be, and we were reading in the same book, needs to be among the brothers. That's why YaHuWaH sent his son, his right hand, in order to become a man among us. And he is going to be the one appointed to be the king. So it's the same structure of authority. YaHuWaH first, the righteous king, somehow in subjection, submitted to Allah, and the rest of the people, you know, belonging to the king. So I like in the way you put it. It's a kind of double protection.
Yeah.
So YaHuWaH, your Elohim himself, is passing over you, before you. So we are not alone. We have never been alone.
Yeah, sorry.
What?
No, that's also remind me about when it was this kind of curse against Nebuchadnezzar. Because he was saying, I am doing this by myself. I am building this. He was putting always himself in these three positions.
Yes.
And I'm always thinking about that. Maybe that somehow is also kind of, I don't know, relationship with the mark of the beast. The 6 times, or sorry, not 6 times, 3 times that you think that you as a man are doing these 3 stages, these 3 categories.
Yeah.
So maybe somehow it has something to do with that. We are only the third one.
That's why we need to be humble, understanding that everything we do is not because of the strength of our hands.
Yeah.
Is because YaHuWaH is doing. And actually it is written here, you know, he's passing over you. He shall destroy who? YaHuWaH.
Yeah.
He shall destroy these nations from before you, and you possess them. So who is the one fighting for us? Who is the one doing everything for us? It's him. And we need to sometimes we made the mistake, all of us, and sometimes it's a repetitive mistake, is that we're just waiting for YaHuWaH to do everything. We're just waiting. And we have been talking about this in the past. It's in a passive mode, and it's not like that. So
everybody has their own thing.
Yeah, the second level of protection you said is Yahushua. You know, first he's saying in this passage is that he's going, just to finish the comment, he's going to before you, and he is going to destroy this nation. But also he's saying Yahushua, the one that is going to lead the people, is passing over before you. And what Yahushua was doing, he was leading the people in battle, and the people was fighting. So they were not waiting just in a passive mode, just, YaHuWaH is going to do everything and just need to wait and see. No, I need to be in an active mode, because as soon as I do the work, he is going to manifest himself. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, because I continue with this idea about the mark of the enemy, that because he said that the mark we are going to receive it maybe in the forehead, in our thoughts, in our hand, our actions, and And I was thinking about YaHuWaH. He's the owner, and he wants to be the owner of our thoughts, or at least not like the owner like a slave. It's like we are a heart with him, that we can understand his mind, how he loves, how he do, how his creation. He wants to teach us that kind of a perception, that kind of thinking. And Yahushua is his right hand. So that is also find it very, very beautiful. Yeah. And we
Right hand, you mean in connection with
in
the
connection
actions?
with the actions.
Okay.
So and for me, like seeing this, like related, that we cannot be in those positions, we cannot put ourselves in those, in here and in here. We have to let them do, and to be owner of our minds, of our actions. So then we can be guided and lead in this path.
That's a good one. Actually, you know, if we continue in the verse 4, it's somehow it's complementing to what you said, and also it's complementing what we were sharing in the last video we put in the channel about the hope for brokenness. It says in the verse 4, and YaHuWaH shall do to them, I mean to the enemies that they are going to encounter as soon as they cross the Jordan, YaHuWaH shall do to them as he did to Sihon and to Og, the sovereigns of the Amorites and their land, when he destroyed them. So what YaHuWaH is doing through Moshe is to put the right memories in their minds. It's just it's the process to, it's interesting, it's the process to be strong and courageous. Is to remember what YaHuWaH has done for us. So this is Moshe saying, you are going to cross the Jordan. Remember what YaHuWaH did for Sihon and Og. And you immediately, when I said this, you are going to see in your mind what happened, how they were destroyed. And your thoughts are going to start going back and forth, trying to analyze how we were able to do it. They were giants, but we were able to defeat them. So it's just to see once again, is to live once again that marvelous experience, to bring the right memories. So by bringing the right memories, we are going to be able to remember YaHuWaH and what he has done for us, in order to live by emunah, in order to feel the strength of YaHuWaH, understanding that if he did it in the past, he is going to be able to do it once again and even more.
And if you look into the meaning of the names, Og and Sihon, one is, Sihon first is the warrior, is the one who destroyed, and Og, the stiff neck, the person who has pride, is the thing that YaHuWaH has done, or has been working with us. If we took it from the personal point of view, he has destroyed those maybe characteristic in our lives, and he's explaining us, I did this with you, and I'm going to continue destroying all the other characteristics that I don't like. So I started with this, and they are belonging to the Amorites. That means a sayer is the people who are talking, who are gossiping, or not gossiping, but who are talking. And sometimes we don't realize when we are talking something, we are maybe not talking without the knowledge, without how he sees things. So
We're talking
really,
from ourselves, not what the words of the
so I really love this, and the part that he said, he also it's going to be in the continue part.
So I want to reinforce that one, because it's something, and that was what we felt in our hearts when I put this video together about the hope for brokenness, and we see it here in this portion. Even I didn't notice before now. Is that we need to analyze ourselves. What are the memories we are bringing to us? Because, the battle is in the mind. The spiritual battle is in the mind. And it depends on us. If we're going through difficulties, we need to look at it. And I know it's difficult. This is what we struggle every day. It's not easy, but we need to do the effort. Is to analyze ourselves. What are the thoughts where we are allowing to do a nest within us? What are the memories we are bringing? What is our inner dialogue? Because, by analyzing this, we are going to be able to comprehend if we're truly trusting in the word of YaHuWaH. We have been reading a book from the 80s that my dad gave to me a long time ago. And one of the things that the person that is talking, the brother wrote the book, is sharing many testimonies of what happened to his life. And one of the testimonies that about his wife, that she was going through a very difficult disease. And in one moment they were reading the Tehillim, and they realized, I don't remember exactly what was the passage, but they realized it was a kind of a moment of like they were awakening somehow to the truth of the word. The word, understanding that word was for them. But it was only the matter for them to believe in the word, what was written. It was written thousands of years ago, but it was totally applicable and alive in this day. And what happened is that she went down to her bed, and even though that she was in pain, she started to mention out loud this word, saying that I know that YaHuWaH is with me. I know that YaHuWaH is healing me. And even though that she stepped down from the bed and she started to walk, and she was, with an inflammatory thing, she was almost unable to walk, but she was doing it anyway, even the pain. And, miraculously, she was healed, not immediately, but the same day. So what's the point? What's the point that I want to make? Again, we can be exactly as Israel, as we see in this portion, maybe looking ahead, that we are going to encounter ourselves with many tribulations, that we are going to encounter ourselves with the giant problems, giant difficulties, diseases. We are going to find ourselves with persecution from the world because we know what's going on and what's coming. So we can be so fearful. And if we allow fear to get in our hearts, we're going to miss the point. But YaHuWaH is giving us the secret in this passage, is that we need to bring to memory, to our memories, how YaHuWaH has saved us in the past. How he has awakening us to the truth, how he has done so beautiful things out of nowhere. When we have been going through difficulties, he's coming and giving us his hand in order to help us to go out of the trials.
And with this, he's giving us comprehension about the situation that other people are living, because maybe they are just living now this battle with Og, with Sihon. They are in this problem, and sometimes we don't understand why they are, I don't know, if we are in a place, why this person has this face. We don't know the troubles and the trials that they are facing at that moment.
That's why it's compassion.
So
we need to be compassionate first.
Compassionate. We receive the help.
Yes.
So maybe we have to pray so they can receive that help too.
Okay, so let's continue. And this is really important. You were telling me about this yesterday. We were having lunch and you told me this. And it's true, we see faces, but we don't see heart. And sometimes we apply that saying when we're talking about in negative ways. But in a positive way, it's true as well. We can go to the grocery store, we can go to school, we can go to work, we can go to any place, and we're gonna find with people that maybe they are going through so much struggles. We don't know, because we just see the face but not the heart. And that's why, the only way to know it It's by the guidance of the Ruach. He is going to give us a word of wisdom. Just to understand when we see the person, and this is something that we need to develop. It's something that we need to learn. It's something we can learn in the same way that we have been learning Torah. It's how to walk with the Ruach of Elohim. He is going to be the one guiding us in the truth even of what the people in front of us is facing. Wasn't that what YaHuWaH was doing? He was knowing the thoughts of the people. He was knowing what the people were thinking about him. He was knowing what the people was going through. So that's why we need to be compassionate. We don't know what the people is going through. We need to ask Abba to guide us. We need to be, asking people. And this is something you always do, what they're doing, how they're doing. And sometimes even by doing that, the people, if we go to the cashier in the grocery store, they are looking at you somehow strange because they are not expecting somebody to ask them how they're doing. And I have seen it. Sometimes they are smiling because somebody is concerned of them or taking care of them. And this is also opening a door in order to shine the light of the good news of the word of YaHuWaH. Okay?
Yeah.
So it says in the verse 5, and YaHuWaH shall give them over to you. Again, who is doing it? YaHuWaH. But we need to be in an active position, not just waiting in the corner, afraid, this is so big, it's a giant of 3 or 4 meters, I am not able to defeat it. I'm going to wait because YaHuWaH is going to be the one destroying them because it is written in the word. It's true, it is written in the word, but we need to go and fight. And this is something very relevant, and I think I wrote to Camila today. If you have not seen the email yet, my sister, is that the spiritual battle with the giants that are now in spiritual form is being intensified in these days. And we cannot just be in the corner waiting, YaHuWaH is going to destroy the giants because it is written, and just waiting. No, he's going to use us in order to fight the battle against the spiritual giants, in order to defeat them. Because what they're doing now with this darkness that is covering the world is just to somehow try to prevent people from seeing the light of YaHuWaH in these last days. And YaHuWaH is trusting in you and us, in all of us, in order to bring the light. So what it means to bring the light in the midst of darkness is to go to the battlefield and fight.
The right fight, not
absolutely
fight with
the spiritual fight. I'm not talking about the physical one. Who is bringing the physical one is YaHuWaH. We need to go and fight the spiritual fight. And this is something that we need to learn urgently, especially now that we have been walking in the truth of Torah for so many years. Is that we need to, and I most probably have been saying this already, is that we need to start looking at things spiritually. Things that are happening around us, we have the tendency to look at it as natural things. We need to start looking at it with spiritual eyes, understanding what's going beyond our physical eyes, what is moving the behavior of people, what is moving the situations around us. Sometimes our spiritual forces, giants in spiritual form. And that's why we need to learn to discern the voice of the Ruach on what we need to do. And understanding that, as is written in the verse 6, that we need to be strong and courageous. Do not fear, not be afraid of them. We need to not be afraid of the spirit of the Nephilims. We need to be strong and courageous. And again, what's the secret in order to become strong and courageous? Is exactly what we were reading in the verse 4. Remembering what YaHuWaH has been saying, remembering the words of YaHuWaH, that he gave us the power in order to defeat our enemies. Remembering the words of YaHuWaH, who said, you will do greater things that I did, what I am doing. Remembering as soon as we act and work through faith, emunah, we are letting YaHuWaH to fulfill his promise that he is the one destroying the enemies.
We don't need to be afraid. And if we sometimes we don't know how to solve maybe a difficult situation, maybe we have to ask Abba, can we pray with this person? Can we pray together with him? And I know that somehow Abba what is doing when this person is going to hear the prayer, whatever is going to be coming from your heart, is going like to put the arms or the the weapons down. It's like it's going to be calming, and maybe it's going to be another spirit there, so you can do, or we can allow YaHuWaH to do all the rest of the work. Sometimes it's something very little, sometimes like sharing a prayer. We have to remember that not everybody knows how to approach, or they feel that they are not worthy to do it. They feel that there is no communication there. And maybe it's time that we can let them know, hey, he wants to hear you. He wants to be close to you too. And we can invite him to be here in the middle of us.
So the secret in order to be strong and courageous and to do what you have been saying, because, in order to do that, we need to be strong and courageous. Sometimes we believe that, but this is so tiny that I don't need to be strong and courageous. Everything we have to do in the word of YaHuWaH, in order to do it, we need to be strong and courageous. Sometimes because we're not strong enough, we're not able to even to do the small things, is to approach a person. How much more we need to be strong in order to do the big things. So we need to learn like a baby. We need to start walking in these things. If we don't begin walking in the guidance of the Ruach of Elohim, or trying to walk, learning to walk, we're not going to be able to walk, not even to run. So in one moment or the other, we need to start doing these things. But it is YaHuWaH, and this is the other way to remember. Remember what YaHuWaH has been doing, how we are filling this temple, with what memories, with what knowledge, with what images we are filling this temple. With the memories of what YaHuWaH has been doing, or of those moments of fear. So we need to fill this temple with the proper memories of what YaHuWaH has been doing for us, and also with the knowledge of what is written in his word when he says, for it is YaHuWaH your Elohim who is going with you, we are not alone. It's YaHuWaH with us. He does not fail you, nor forsake you. Moshe called Yahushua and said to him before the eyes of all Israel, you, Yahushua, be strong and courageous, for you are going with these people to the land which YaHuWaH has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you are to let them inherit it. And it is YaHuWaH who is going before you, Yahushua. He himself is with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be discouraged. So the same message for the people is for Yahushua. And what, we have plenty of truth in the Brit Hadashah. What happened when Yahushua was baptized? An audible voice from the heavens was saying, this is my beloved son. When he was in the transfiguration, an audible voice saying, this is my beloved son, listen to him. And what Yahushua was doing, many miracles. What Yahushua was showing us that he was able to endure until the end, even though that he was suffering, even to death. And because he endured until the end, living by faith, not by eyes, he was resurrected in order to fulfill the promise of the plan of YaHuWaH. So what else we can do? Remembering the word and the promises, because of YaHuWaH does not fail, not forsake us. Bring into memory, and we can close our eyes and see the different experiences we have been going through with our eyes closed, and see what YaHuWaH has been doing for us. But on top of that is the second level of protection, you said. Remembering what Yahushua did. Remembering that Yahushua died but was rose again, and he is alive, and he's coming back. He is alive. And he did even more, and he suffered even more than we are suffering, even to death. But he was obedient, and he was doing marvelous things. And we need to remember is that YaHuWaH appointed him to lead us to the kingdom, and he's doing it. The only thing we have to do is to remember Yahushua, that he is with us, and to remember that he, Yahushua, is the one who sent the Ruach HaKodesh in order to be with us till the end of the world. It is written, I think I have a note here, it is written in the book of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 20. It says, "And see, I am with you always until the end of the age." So YaHuWaH is with us always. He doesn't fail us. He doesn't forsake us. He appointed Yahushua to be the one leading Israel to cross the Jordan and inherit the promise, the kingdom. And Yahushua is saying, I'm with you always until the end of the age. So when we're going through difficulties, we have three recipes now. Bring to memories what YaHuWaH has been doing for us, remembering the word and the promises of YaHuWaH. And third, remembering Yahushua, that he is the one leading us on the way. He has been doing marvelous work. He's also sent the Ruach of Elohim, and he promised that he was going to be with us always until the end of the world.
If you go back to the Devarim, that part when Moshe was talking to him and says, "And Moshe called Yahushua and said to him before the eyes of all Israel, be strong and courageous, for you are going with these people to the land with YaHuWaH." You have already read it. I imagine always this, that maybe it was the same message that Moshe with Eliyahu was saying to Yahushua before his
transfiguration.
And he needs some witnesses there. So that's why maybe he took Yahuhan and Kepha. And so they were kind of representing Israel. And it's like that. Maybe at the same point, because we have to remember that he was taking a human form. And he also needs from that perspective, because we can see it in the words of him when he was saying and praying to Abba, please, if it's possible for you, let this cup pass over. But if not, well, everything is going to be according to his will, to your will. So even him need to receive this kind of words of encouragement. So we have to think that we have to, when we have these moments of trouble, when we are facing difficult times, we have to go back to these words and having inside of our heart, our minds, in all our body, in every cells of our body, that he is not going to forsake us. Maybe we're going to be alone in this world, but he's going to be there with us. He's going to be the only one there with us.
Sometimes we need visual reminders. That's why YaHuWaH gave us the tzitzit in order to see it and remember. When I was without a job for 1 year on 2012, I think some people thought that I became a crazy man. Because I began to write some notes in these papers and put some passages of the scripture or some words of encouragement, and I put in and just put in all the papers in the wall. So when I was waking up or going to, I was able to see it and read them. Maybe it's not a bad practice that we should do it now. And what we should write is this one, what it is. This one, be strong and courageous. And this is a perfect phrase, statement that is coming directly from YaHuWaH. We should remember this always. Be strong and courageous. And which one?
And this one. And it is YaHuWaH who is going before you. He himself is with you. He does not fail you, not forsake you.
And another one, do not fear nor be discouraged.
because he's the only one who can forget you or fail you. It was Yahushua. I was telling you this morning that it was even Yahushua who was warning to the disciples, all of you are going to leave me alone. And even though they wanted and not to do that, they did it.
They did it
Because
anyway.
that is the human condition, that we are going to fail to people. So we don't have to put our eyes, our heart into people. We have to put our eyes and our heart into the Father. He's the only one who's going to be with us always. And Yahushua, his right hand, they are going to be there for us.
Absolutely. So if it is helping you somehow, take a piece of paper, put the note, the specific words that you need to remember, and put it in some place that you are going to be able to see it most of the time.
Maybe in the ceiling, in the wall.
Wherever,
If
because we
you're
need
checking
to.
your mobile in your mobile, that is going to be the thing there. I don't know, in the computer.
Absolutely. So we need to do whatever is in our hands in order to be aligned and in synchrony in the frequency of the word of YaHuWaH. So it says, and Moshe wrote this Torah and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi or Levi, who bore the ark of the covenant of YaHuWaH, and to all the elders of Israel. And Moshe commanded them, saying, at the end of 7 years, at the appointed time, in the Shemitah, the year of release, at the festival of Sukkot.
Very soon.
Yeah, we don't know if it's a Shemitah. I don't believe it's a Shemitah this year, by the way. But it's in the festival of Sukkot. When all Israel comes to appear before YaHuWaH, our Elohim, in the place which he chooses, read this Torah before all Israel in their hearing. Assemble the people, the men and the women, and the little ones, and your sojourner who is within your gates, so that they hear and so that they learn to fear YaHuWaH, your Elohim, and guard to do all the words of this Torah. So what's the purpose of the Torah? It's not to have the book of Torah just in some, I don't know.
In the shelf.
Yes, exactly. Just stored there. Is to hear. And this is really important for what we have been studying, What we hear goes directly to the place of where the Ruach dwells, where is our spirit, with the sense of hearing and somehow connected to the speaking, is helping us to connect with the place of the Ruach. So we need to hear Torah with what purpose? Is to learn. What it is written is to learn to fear YaHuWaH, your Elohim. And what's the purpose of learning to fear YaHuWaH of Elohim? Is to guard, to do all the words of this Torah.
It's not fear by horror, it's to respect him.
Exactly.
That kind
It's
of
reverence.
fear, reverence.
Is to the beginning of wisdom. Fear is the beginning of wisdom. And we know wisdom, we receive it by the word of YaHuWaH. Wisdom is written, it has been given by YaHuWaH because he's the owner of the wisdom. So it's a process, it's hearing, learning to fear or to have reverence, do. But everything starts with hearing. How we are going to be able to, how people is going to be able to learn to do
if nobody talks about
if
it.
they don't learn to fear YaHuWaH and they're not able to hear because nobody's talking to them.
Yeah.
So if we remain ourselves quiet without sharing, we are robbing somehow the opportunity or not allowing the people to have the opportunity.
Like stealing. Okay.
Stealing,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Not having the people to have the opportunity to do the words of Torah and to learn righteousness, because first they need to hear. This is exactly what Yahushua did. He started to proclaim the good news of the kingdom of Elohim. It's to proclaim, it's to speak out. So in order for us to hear, somebody needs to speak. Obeying the voice of YaHuWaH, he's speaking. We need to learn how to recognize his voice. But in the same way that he's speaking so we can hear, If we're going to be servants, we need to speak so somebody else is going to be able to hear. And the rest is the Ruach of Elohim, the one convicting people. But first they need to hear, they need to go from the 2 ears. It's not like it's going from one ear and going out from the other. They need to hear. Actually, that's going to be a decision from the people that is listening or hearing. But we need to speak so they can hear and learn. And their children who have not known it. And this is exactly what's happening in our generation. Children, the youngest people, doesn't know YaHuWaH. They have learned, they have heard about religion, but they don't really know YaHuWaH and the righteousness of the kingdom. They don't know the way of truth. You know, they know about Jesus Christ, but they don't know who the Messiah really is.
And what was the purpose of his...
And what he did and what he's doing and what he will do. They don't know about Israel. They don't know YaHuWaH. So that's exactly what's happening. And why they don't know? Because maybe we have not been doing what we have to do. And we need to be honest with YaHuWaH. We need to be honest with ourselves.
You know that some people even are taking advantage that we have failed in transfer them the reality of YaHuWaH in our lives, that somebody is telling them all those stories, silly stories, that only people that with a weak mind are believing in that, like a movie. So that is, we have to fight against that. We have to let them know that YaHuWaH is real. He made real things in our life.
And you know what's happening, and we have been talking about this, is that sometimes we don't like to speak to the youngest generation or even to our children because, and it's happening to me most of the time, you know, but if I do this...
Yeah, maybe I'm going to push him away.
Yeah, but what's that? It's fear. And what we have been talking about is we should not fear, and we need to start, you know, I'm going to use, for me, even the same words that I just spoke 2 minutes ago. We need to start looking at things not with the physical eyes, with the spiritual eyes. You know, if we are fearful, if because maybe there's some spiritual attack going on, is that we need to recognize it and we need to ask Abba to give us the strength in order to fight the battle and to fight it with light and to fight it with the truth. Because it says here, you know, they don't know, you know, their children, they don't know that the new generation should hear and learn to fear. Again, it's the same process by hearing, learning. As long as you live in the land, you are passing over the Jordan to possess. That's why, you know, so even though that is so repetitive, do the cycle year after year, this is exactly what YaHuWaH is commanding us. Is that we need to read his Torah. Because by reading, somehow we are hearing and we are learning, we are progressing. But also we need to do our part in order to share with others by speaking and speaking about the word. So let's continue. And YaHuWaH said to Moshe, see, the days have drawn near for you to die. Call Yahushua and present yourselves in the tent of appointment, so that I command him. And Moshe and Yahushua went and presented themselves in the tent of appointment. And YaHuWaH appeared at the tent in a column of a cloud, and the column of a cloud stood above the door of the tent. So, you know, for me, this is something that is very relevant on what we have been studying lately. Is that first, YaHuWaH gave a commandment that Yahushua was going to be appointed to lead the people. And the same word that YaHuWaH gave to the people about being strong and courageous, he gave it through Moshe to Yahushua. So first the commandment, the truth, the instruction. But later, now that we see here is that he's calling both of them in order to seal up somehow the instruction and the appointment of Yahushua. And what he's doing, he's calling them to his place, the tabernacle, and he's coming down with the cloud. And we were talking about the cloud when we were doing the study about the Ruach. The cloud is representing, is the covering, and is the Ruach, is the presence of YaHuWaH, the manifestation of the presence of YaHuWaH.
And it's filling the place.
Is feeling exactly, is feeling completely the place. So let me put it in this way. Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 1. Here, Yahushua said to the disciples, it says, but you shall receive power when the Ruach HaKodesh has come upon you, and you shall be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Yehuda and Shomeron unto the end of the earth. What I see happening here, coming back again to the book of Devarim, is exactly the same thing. It's before the instruction. Yahushua give exactly the same instruction. You need to go to the entire world, heal the sick, cast out demons. You need to bring the good news of the kingdom of YaHuWaH and proclaim the truth. Bringing the good news is to share, speak up about the Torah of YaHuWaH, the righteousness of the kingdom of YaHuWaH, and to do all the rest. So he gave the instruction, and then he said, okay, you will receive the power to do these things when the Ruach of Elohim is coming upon you. And we see in this portion exactly the same process, exactly the same steps. YaHuWaH giving the instruction to the people and appointing Yahushua, and then saying, Yahushua, come to the upper room, almost, to the tabernacle.
You're going to receive the Ruach.
You are going to receive the Ruach, and we will read about this later on when Moshe is laying his hands on Yahushua. I think is coming in the next chapters. But he's bringing Yahushua and Moshe to this place, and the cloud representing the manifestation of the Ruach of Elohim, filling the place, is filling them as well. So what I'm trying to say, just to summarize, we need to learn Torah. We need to continue learning Torah all the time. We need to live in Torah as we have been reading here. We need to do Torah, because this is being obedient to the voice of YaHuWaH. But also we need to seek the presence and the manifestation of the Ruach of Elohim in order to be able to be strong and courageous, in order to do what we have been commanded to do by instruction of the word. Okay? And YaHuWaH appeared at the tent in a column of a cloud, and the column of a cloud stood above the door of the tent. Now it's your turn.
And YaHuWaH said to Moshe, see, you are about to sleep with your fathers, and these people shall rise and whore after the mighty ones of the strangers of the land, into the midst of which they shall enter, and forsake me and break my covenant, which I made with them.
I was reading again the portion before the broadcast. And when I got to this point, I understood why I landed when I opened the scripture this morning of the book of Hosea. It was talking exactly about this. So I think we are going to read at the end the book of Hosea.
Okay.
Okay. But you want to say something? Go ahead.
That this is the first step. How we are going to lose the company, or not the company, is how we are going to lose the opportunity that YaHuWaH is going to be in our midst. I'm going to continue reading, but this is the initial part, is when we are taking what is happening with the rest of the people, what the rest is doing, what they are practicing, what they are, how they are living. And if we want to live in the same way, we are going to lose it, because we're going to start that way that has not all the time has a return point. Sometimes we can get really lost and never come back. So we have to be very careful about that. Then it says, then my displeasure shall burn against them in that day, and I shall forsake them and hide myself from them.
My face.
Sorry, hide my face. What it is?
Myself.
Okay, sorry. From them. And they shall be consumed, and many evils and distresses shall come upon them. And it shall be said in that day, it shall be said. by the people.
Mm-hmm.
It is not because our Elohim is not in our midst that these evils have come upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that is the question that we are making, but that's not the right question, because the right question is to go
What are
at the
we doing
beginning.
wrong? Yeah.
How we caused YaHuWaH to leave us,
Mm-hmm.
why we did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we are so maybe sometimes that we don't want to see back. And I shall certainly hide my face in that day because of all the evil which they have done, for they shall turn to other mighty ones. And now write down this song for yourself and teach it to the children of Israel. Put in their mouth, so that this song is to me for a witness against the children of Israel. And I feel that I need to go back again to the where it says, for they shall turn to other mighty ones.
Mm-hmm.
Mighty ones is anything that is not YaHuWaH.
Yeah, I agree with
It's
that.
anything. So we have to be careful with that.
Everything that is replacing the position that belongs to YaHuWaH.
The number one position. And as Camila has shared with me, that Alan was teaching them that YaHuWaH has the first position in a list of only one. So that is it.
You know, in the book of Mishle, Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 9, says the following: He who turns away his ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer is an abomination.
Yeah.
And in this one, in the verse 10, he who causes the straight to go astray in an evil way falls into his own pit, but the perfect inherit the good. So
we need to do all what is possible in our hands to try to be perfect someday.
Yep.
We're not going to maybe accomplish here in this earth,
We
but
need to
we
be in the
have
way
to
of
go in
perfection.
that way. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you know, even in the book of John, this is a beautiful one, chapter 9, when the Yahushua was healing the blind man, and he was being interrogated by the priest. This man said the following: the man that was previously blind, in the chapter 9, verse 30 of the book of John, the man answered and said to them, "Why, this is a wonder. You do not know where he is from, yet he opened my eyes. And we know that Elohim does not hear sinners. But if anyone fears Elohim and does his desire, he hears him." You know, I think the Ruach was speaking through him after this miracle, through him. And that this is so connected to what you were reading about, is that, and we need to make the difference. YaHuWaH is not listening, YaHuWaH is hiding his face, just to put in the same word of the portion. YaHuWaH is hiding his face from sinners. And we, as connecting to what we were reading in the book of Proverbs, is YaHuWaH is hiding his face from those that are not hearing or transgressing his Torah. Those one that depart their ears from listening to Torah. This is what we were reading in the book of Proverbs. We see, you know, indirectly, we see a connection that a sinner is the one that is not listening and doing Torah. So he's breaking Torah. So, but what if we are in ignorance? That we are breaking Torah, but we are not conscious that we are breaking Torah. Is YaHuWaH going to hide his face from us? What do you think?
No, I think that he's going to try to reach us in different ways.
Absolutely.
So we can see him.
Because he's compassionate
and
Elohim.
he wants to heal us. And you know what? I was thinking the other day that maybe another reason for the diseases that maybe we can have is because he wants to fill us with his Ruach. Because every time that he was healing somebody, this man who was blind, and he gave this beautiful testimony, also with Shaul, when he was blind, and after that he could receive all the power and the Spirit. So sometimes it's because maybe we know him, but we have not received him fully. And maybe that is a difference.
You know, I'm reading an interesting book that is more a scientific book, but it's talking about the connection between the body and the mind, the body-mind connection. And I'm getting almost to the end of the book. I think I just missing 2 chapters. It's a very dense book because it's too much terminology, scientific terminology. But you know, there was one statement in the book that caught my attention. Actually, several statements, but this one was last night. Is that somehow science has been able to confirm, though they don't want to acknowledge yet, mainstream science, but they have been able to demonstrate the connection between the body and mind. There is not separate entities, that both together. And the statement that caught my attention and somehow is connected to what you said and is connected to what we're talking in the portion is that everything we do with our bodies externally will have an impact, positive or negative impact, in our mind internally. Somehow it's being translated to the emotions or to any other things, our thoughts and so on, has an impact in our mind, and vice versa. Everything that we do in our mind will have an impact in our bodies. And this is so true when we see with the lenses of the word. That's why, you know, we have Torah. If we follow Torah, the instructions, somehow we are using, by doing, we are instructing our bodies from the outside in order to make us walk in righteousness and to make us whole, righteous person. But also, what the Ruach is doing with us from the inside out. That's why YaHuWaH said is that what is defiling us is what is coming from our mouth, because it's talking from the overflow of our hearts. Our hearts can be wicked or can be righteous. It depends on the decision we are going to make, how we are feeling our heart, from the external of wicked things, or we are feeling it from the internal, from the Ruach of Elohim dwelling within us. So the Ruach is acting within us through our mind, our thoughts, our emotions, our spirit, and that will have an impact in our bodies. If we are feeling ourselves with fear, we're feeling ourselves with wickedness, we're feeling ourselves with sin, that basically we can do it externally, but at the end it's having the impact inside. It will have a consequence in our bodies. So it's exactly, you know, connected and aligned to what we see here, what we are putting inside, what we are going to remember, how to analyze ourselves if we are maybe not listening the voice of YaHuWaH, what we are doing wrongly. And to the question I asked you, I fully agree with you, is that when YaHuWaH says that he's going to hide his face from us, from sinners, from the one breaking his Torah, he's so compassionate that he's not going to hide his face from us if we're in ignorance, because he wants to guide us, he wants to teach us. He's going to hide his face in case we are stubborn, if we're disobedient, even though he is showing us and making us conscious about that we are breaking his word in some aspect and we're not doing it. You know, he will give us some opportunities, but if we continue being disobedient, he's going to hide his face.
And you know what is beautiful? He said, yeah, I'm going to hide my face, but it doesn't say I'm going to hide myself. I'm not going to leave you.
Yes,
I'm not going to stop hearing you. He doesn't say that. It's just that maybe his complete countenance is not over us, maybe for a moment, so we can realize how is that. If I'm talking to you and I'm not seeing you, I'm talking for that, you're not going to listen what I'm saying. That is going to be one thing, and also it's kind of disrespectful, and you're going to feel like kind of offended. And then you're going, well, why she's talking and she don't even look at me? So it's like that. He wants us to know, so we can know, well, maybe I did something that I don't realize. Maybe I need to check. I'm not telling that the when I was explaining this before, that sometimes in cases that some diseases us because he wants us to have his full ruach over us. I'm not saying that's the only reason that we have the diseases. There are many reasons for the diseases, for miracles, because it's going to be the door so we can go to the next part. So we only have to talk and be in shalom with him.
It's
so
like
he's going to let us know what is the reason of our condition.
It's like thinking on the poor. YaHuWaH said that they're always being poor on the earth.
Yeah. It's needed.
Yeah,
it's
you know,
part
on
of this life.
On the Agenda 2030 is looking to remove poverty from the world, and you know, going totally against what YaHuWaH said. You know, what's the purpose behind that? Is to be able to practice righteousness. So it's the same thing you said, you know, why we are sick sometimes. And even YaHuWaH said that the same. It's in order to practice the chesed, the compassion and the loving kindness of YaHuWaH by providing healing. And, you know, he said, you know, with these hands, we should heal sick. Because YaHuWaH did it. Sometimes we doubt, you know, how come I'm going to do it? We need to remove that doubt, and we need to pray for people, not rushing to put our hands on people, only when we are being guided by the Ruach. How I'm going to be guided by the Ruach, how I'm going to be able to recognize that if I'm being guided, you know, you will feel something different inside, something that is pushing you to do it. You know, it's not because of you, you don't know why. You will see, you know, something that is, you know, Jeremiah, I think, wrote something like this, is that, you know, I was not going to speak, but it somehow my heart was burning inside me. I was unable to do it. I had to do something.
I can contain it.
Yeah, this is what's going to happen to you. It's a need that you don't know why you have it, and you cannot contain it. It's something that is burning inside you. That's the Ruach of Elohim guiding you to do something. And in that moment is when you need to be obedient. And strong and courageous. Because if you obey, it's YaHuWaH the one that is going to do all things through you.
And if needed, pray. So if you have a doubt, if he can remove that doubt from you, and you can be an instrument for a miracle. Because I know that he wants to heal people. He wants to heal, and not only the physically. I think that even more what is inside us.
You know how we are going to be able to remove doubt, because doubt is impossible. We will have it all the time. That's the work of the enemy. Is by having the experiences. You know, we talk about bringing the right memories to our heart, how YaHuWaH was able to defeat through us Sihon and Og. If we're not able to see how YaHuWaH is defeating Og and Sihon through us, we're not going to have the memories. So how to defeat fear, because doubt at the end is fear. Everything, if you go drill down, you are going to get this fear. The most important. How you are going to remove fear? By having the right memories. How you are going to have the right memories if you're not allowing yourself to walk in these things, to have the experiences. You know how Moshe was going to tell them, remember what YaHuWaH did to Sihon if they were not fighting with Sihon and Og. They were not going to have the memories to bring to their minds to remember. So we need to walk. We are going to make mistakes. That's inevitable. But even if we do make mistakes, we need to walk, we need to continue, so we are able to learn. And you know, we will see beautiful experiences. Those experiences are going to be the one later on that we are going to be able to bring back to memories and remember what YaHuWaH has done in our lives, and what YaHuWaH has been using us as his instruments and his servants.
Okay. And I don't remember what I was.
But you can read from the 18 onwards. And I think that was the last one you read. Yeah. But you can read again.
And I shall certainly hide my face in that day because of all the evil which they have done, for they shall turn to other mighty ones. And now write this song for yourselves, and teach it to the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, so that this song is to me for a witness against the children of Israel. And I shall bring them to the land flowing with milk and honey.
So YaHuWaH is a musician too.
Yeah, it's a musician too. So, and he wants us to, because what happened when you hear and you sing is like you have like two ways of doing a
vibration
and everything. So, and it's a witness against us. And I shall bring them to the land flowing with milk and honey, of which I swore to their fathers, and they shall eat and be satisfied and be fat. Then they shall turn to the other mighty ones, and they shall serve them, and scorn me and break my covenant. While I'm reading this, I'm always thinking about when he was talking about Jeshurun. I don't remember in which book was, but it was said, then Jeshurun, you grow thick and fat, and you forgot me. So usually is when we are having this plenty life,
prosperity.
When we have prosperity, that we don't have to do much effort to have the things that we receive, is that when we have that tendency of forgetting him. So that's where we have to put our focus. Always remember that he is the giver, he is the one providing everything. Nothing is because we earn it, nothing is because we are nice people, is just because he's compassion, because he's a father, the perfect father. And more, this one?
Yep.
And it shall be when many evils and distresses come upon them, that this song shall answer before them as a witness, for it is not to be forgotten in the mouth of their seed. For I know their thoughts which they are forming today, even before I bring them to the land of which I swore to give them.
That's an important point, you know. Everything begins, if we look in this, in our thoughts, is what I said a few minutes ago. You know, is what are the thoughts we're going to allow to make some nest inside us. And we can do it now, but later in times, it's going to cause a situation, an action.
And this is really important because even it's confirming about that how our thoughts, our emotion are being transferred even to their seed, to the children. So that's why YaHuWaH was always telling to the first, the second, and the third generation. He was worried, and I think that is something very, maybe we cannot understand now. But there are things that if we live in a righteous way, they're going to cover somehow even the third generation.
That's why
if we are leaving him, we are going to, unfortunately, we are going to condemn all the rest of our children.
That's why we need to pray even for our forefathers and our previous generation. I have a note here from the book of Daniel, the prayer from Daniel.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I think he was mentioning this. And I prayed to YaHuWaH my Elohim and made confession and said, O YaHuWaH, great and awesome El, guarding the covenant and the loving commitment to those who love him and to those who guard his commands. We have sinned and did crookedness and did wrong and rebelled to turn aside from your commands and from your right rulings. And we have not listened to your servants, the prophets, who spoke in your name to our sovereigns, our heads and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. O YaHuWaH, to you is the righteousness and to us the shame of face, as it is this day to the men of Yehuda and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and all Israel, those near and those far off, in all the lands to which you have driven them, because their trespass which they have trespassed against you. So he he's talking and he's praying.
But I remember one part that it says, not only by him, but also for the people. For
And all Israel have transgressed your Torah and turned aside so as not to obey your voice. So the curse and the oath written in the Torah of Moshe, the servant of Elohim, had been poured out on us, for we have sinned against him. So, yeah, I don't find it, but I remember the same.
There is one part in the prayer.
Yes. So we need to pray for forgiveness, not only for this generation. We need to pray for forgiveness for previous generations too, as well. Because we don't know, what are the thoughts, as you were mentioning, that were formed in previous generations, the third and the fourth generation curses. We need to pray for deliverance.
And Moshe wrote this song the same day and taught it to the children of Israel. And he commanded YaHuWaH, son of Nun, and said, "Be strong and courageous, for you are to bring the children of Israel into the land of which I swore to them, and I myself am with you." And it came to be, when Moshe had completed writing the words of this Torah in a book until their completion, that Moshe commanded the Levites, who bore the ark of the covenant of YaHuWaH, saying, "Take this book of the Torah, and you shall place it beside the ark of the covenant of YaHuWaH your Elohim, and it shall be there as a witness against you. For I myself know your rebellion and your stiff neck. See, while I am still alive with you today, you have been rebellious against YaHuWaH, then how much more after my death?" Wow. "Assemble unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, so that I speak these words in the hearing and call the heavens and the earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you shall do very corruptly, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you. And evil shall come to you in the latter days, because you do what is evil in the eyes of YaHuWaH, to provoke him through the works of your hands." So Moshe spoke in the hearing of all the assembly of Israel the words of this song till their completion.
But you see the compassion of YaHuWaH, because even though that he knew what was going to happen,
he gave us like a way to return.
Yeah, exactly. And he continued being faithful to the oath, to the vow he made with Abraham, with Yitzchak and Jacob. We are so blessed that Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob were faithful, that made an oath and a vow with YaHuWaH. Because of their faithfulness is that YaHuWaH, he will be faithful to the same oath. And that's why, even though that he knew that that generation were going to go astray, and what it means to go astray, we see this on this verse. I think I have the note here, 29. Turn aside from the way I have commanded you. This is what it means to go astray. And we know that's apostasy, is to go depart from the way of YaHuWaH. And we see this happening even more visible in this generation, in the entire world. But even though that YaHuWaH, coming back to the point, he knew that what was going to happen, he was faithful to the covenant. And he, because of his compassion and his love, even though he saw that they were going to depart from the way, he continued with his plan of restoration. And he's doing exactly the same till today, and he will continue till the end. So, somehow this is what we need to analyze in our lives. If we are departing from the way. And who is the way? Is YaHuWaH. He is, even, that's the beautiful things it's connecting all, is the truth, the way, life. He's leading the way for us to know how to walk, what to do, where to go.
Yeah. No, and I was thinking about this in the verse 29, that it says, "Because you do what is evil in the eyes of YaHuWaH, to provoke him through the works of your hand." sometimes we don't realize when we are looking for the approval of the eyes of the people, we are doing evil in the eyes of YaHuWaH. Because he said, my ways are not your ways. What I see, you cannot see. So we have to pray that he can help us and that we can do all our effort to please him, not to the people. That our works, our deeds are things according to his will. And he gave all that instruction in his Torah. That
Absolutely.
is what we have to look for, to not to provoke him, just to please him.
So let me share with you what I was reading on the book of Hosea. I opened my scriptures and I just landed in this passage. Let's go to the chapter. Is 1, 2, 3, 4 chapters. I'm going to read just one of them, and I will invite you to read the rest because there's so beautiful information here that somehow is fully connected to this portion. So let's go to the chapter 4 of the book of Hosea. And this is from verse 7 onward. And they were increased, talking about Ephraim, Israel. So they sinned against me. My esteem they have changed into shame. You know, you see, it's totally connected to the same thing that we were reading in the chapter 31 of the Devarim. They eat the sin of my people and lift up their desire to their crookedness. And it shall be like people, like priests, and I shall punish them for their ways and reward them for their deeds. And they shall eat but not be satisfied. They shall hoard but not increase.
What is happening today?
For they have stopped obeying YaHuWaH. Direct connection to the portion. Whoring and wine, and new wine slave the heart. You know, the heart is the key. It's a kind of the access point.
It's our gate.
Is the gate. You know,
It's one of our gates.
we're gonna allow the ruach to fill the heart, or we are gonna allow sin to fill the heart. My people ask from their good, and their staff declares to them. For a spirit of whorings, you know, spiritual battle, has led them astray, and they went whoring from under their Elohim. You remember what I said about the book? You know, it could be physical whoring that somehow is going to become a spiritual whoring, but it could be the other way around. Spirit producing whoring that is going to be manifested in the physical, in the body, but also is going to depart us on a spiritual. It's going to push us on the spiritual whoring. It's a spiritual battle. They slaughter on the mountain tops and burn incense on the hills under oak and poplars and terebinth, because its shade is good. Therefore your daughters commit whoring and your brides commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoring, nor your brides when they commit adultery. For the men themselves go aside with whores, and slaughter with cold prostitutes. A people that do not understand are thrust down. So here's
the whole society. It was the
physical and spiritual, both connected, and somehow being driven by spirit, an evil spirit. Though you are a whore, Israel, let not Yehuda become guilty. Do not come up to Gilgal, nor go up to Beit Awen, nor swear an oath, saying, as YaHuWaH lives. For Israel is stubborn. Again, not ignorance, is in disobedience, in purpose. Like a stubborn calf. Would YaHuWaH now feed them like a lamb in a broad place? No, because they are disobedient. They don't want to obey, even though they know, they decide to do the opposite.
Yeah, it's rebellion.
Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone. Their drink is sour, they have whored continually. Her rulers wildly loved shame. A wind has bound her up in its wings, and they are ashamed because of their slaughtering. It continues saying, hear this, O priest, and listen, O house of Israel. Give ear, O house of the sovereign, for the judgment is for you. For you have been a snare to Mitzpah, and a net spread on Tabor. And revolters have gone deep in a slain, and I reprove them all. I have known Ephraim, and Israel have not been hidden from me. For now, O Ephraim, you have whored, Israel is defiled. Their deeds do not allow them to turn back to their Elohim. Again, because of what we do, is forbidden us to turn back. It's a decision. We need to change our actions and also our heart. For the spirit, again, the spiritual battle, the spirit of whoring is among them, and they do not know YaHuWaH. Because we are whoring, because we are allowing in the spirit of whoring, we are forbidden to know YaHuWaH.
Yeah. He cannot be here if we have some other spirit of we are following some other mighty one.
What we were talking about the children that doesn't know it, the Torah. They don't, because they have not hearing, listening. It's exactly the same. Spiritual battle, not allowing the people to know YaHuWaH. So what we need to do is to speak up so they hear, they listen, in the same way that YaHuWaH is doing it through his prophets. And the excellency of Israel shall witness to his face, and Israel and Ephraim stumble in their crookedness. Yehudah shall also stumble with them. With their flocks and herds they go to seek YaHuWaH, but do not find him, because he turned his face, he hidden his face from them, as we were reading in the portion. He has withdrawn from them. They have acted treacherously against YaHuWaH, for they have brought forth strange children. Now a monk shall devour them with their portions, a Chodesh. Blow a shofar in Giv'ah. It could be related to Teruah, maybe.
Maybe.
The trumpet in Ramah. Shout. Shout is the Teruah.
Yeah.
Obey the wind behind you, O Benjamin. Ephraim is laid waste in the day of rebuke. Among the tribes of Israel I shall make known what is certain. The chiefs of Yehudah shall be like those who remove a border. On them I poured out my wrath like water. Ephraim is oppressed, crushed in judgment, because he walked after the command when it pleases him. And you know that when I read this is so relevant. Because how many times we do the desire of our heart instead of doing the desire of the heart of YaHuWaH. What it means is exactly what is written over there. When we do our desire and we please him, he pleased us or pleased others, we're doing the commandments and following Torah when we want, instead of doing it all the time. This is exactly what is written here. He walked after the command when it pleases him, instead of doing it all the time in order to please YaHuWaH.
It's like having two different kind of lives.
One foot
my
here
spiritual
and the other
life and
foot here.
the life that I have among the people.
We need to serve YaHuWaH continually, because by serving him and keeping the commandment, we are loving him. So it's everything together, exactly. So I am to Ephraim like a moth, and to the house of Yehudah like rottenness. When Ephraim saw his sickness and Yehudah saw his wound, then Ephraim went to Ashur and went to sovereign Yareb.
And sent to.
And sent to sovereign Yareb. But he is unable to heal you or to remove the wounds from you. Instead of seeking and reaching out to YaHuWaH, we are trying to find help and solutions
in somebody else. Maybe we call it today pharmakia, I don't know, maybe a doctor, maybe, but
maybe a different person instead of going
instead
to
of going
and YaHuWaH will send a person to help us in the same way that I think last week you were remembering this about Shaul. Is that Shaul was sent to Damascus and he was praying, and YaHuWaH was telling one of his servants, go to this street and that street and go and pray for this person. So in our moments of need, we need to reach out to YaHuWaH, and YaHuWaH will send the person that we need in order to, the instrument he's going to use in order to provide healing or to provide to our needs. For I am like a lion to Ephraim and like a young lion to the house of Yehudah. I myself tear them and go. I take them away, and there is no one to deliver. So he is the one doing it. And I shall go, I shall return to my place until they confess their guilt and seek my face. In their distress diligently search for me and say.
And say what?
Say, Come and let us turn back to YaHuWaH. For he has turned, but he does heal us. He has stricken, but he binds us up. You know, Yahushua is the one binding the hearts of the brokenhearted. After 2 days, he shall revive us, and on the third day, he shall raise us up, so that we live before him.
Yeah, maybe some people are going to think, well, he's a kind of a, how do you say, the people who like to inflict damage on some others.
Not
It's
at all.
like that.
It's because we are disobedient.
And he wants us to realize that something is not okay. And at the same time, he's giving us and providing the healing.
He's using all this in his hands in order to restore us. And sometimes he needs to become like a demanding father and a strong one in order for us to understand, because we are not understanding with the soft words.
Yeah. Sometimes the rod needs to be
with a rod.
With the rod. Sometimes it can heal.
So they didn't stop there. They continue saying, so let us pursue to know YaHuWaH. So it's something in the heart, it's a change of heart, it's a decision to pursue to know YaHuWaH. He's going forth.
Wow.
Is certain as the morning. It's as certain as the morning. It's something that will happen.
And it's going to happen, and it's not going to be any way that it's going to
It's not going to stop, even though that some people want to, to put clouds in order to stop the sun now, but they're not going to be able to do it, And he comes to us like the rain, like the latter rain watering the earth. And this is a so beautiful picture of the Ruach HaKodesh. So I'm not going to continue reading, but you can read the rest. Read the chapter 6, read the chapter 7, because it's a beautiful picture of what YaHuWaH saw and told Moshe that they were going to depart from the way, but also he knew that there was going to happen restoration, and he knew from the very beginning that restoration was coming through the hand of Yahushua HaMashiach. And I think we're living in those times of restoration.
Yeah.
We are living, since Yahushua came 2,000 years ago, on those times of restoration. We're just getting and waiting for the point that the time is off. And the time for the full fulfillment is coming. And I know it's coming. We know it's coming, all of us. We don't know exactly the day or the year or the month, but we know we are close enough that he is at the door. And the same words that we were reading of the restoration of Ephraim and Yehuda are coming to a full fulfillment in these times. Any final word from the portion? That was my final word, actually.
I don't know if it's related with the portion, but I was imagining this, that sometime if we are like, I don't know, like keeping our head against a wall, maybe it's the time when we need to ask Abba just to move us a little bit so we can go and be rerouted in the right direction. Maybe we were the ones who were, I don't know, turning without even realizing. So sometimes those hitting and those kind of troubles that we are going to have them, and every day are going to be more frequent, is because he is trying to maybe we are like a little ball, and he's trying to move us like there in the right direction, because it's only few that can enter there, and a lot of people are going to be in whatever direction they want. But we want to desire to have the direction of Abba in our lives.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's it.
It's I cannot put it in a more too beautiful words as we were reading the book of Hosea.
Yeah, that's book is.
Let us turn back to YaHuWaH.
Yeah, with all our heart.
With all our hearts, let's pursue to know Him. And I'm gonna reinforce what I have been saying. Yahushua promised another helper. We have the helper in these times in order to turn back and to pursue to know YaHuWaH, and that helper is the Ruach of Elohim. He is the one helping us. He is the one, the Ruach of Elohim, sent by YaHuWaH through Yahushua, guiding our step in order to learn the truth of the way, to turn back to YaHuWaH. Now is the time that we need to pursue even more to know him in our own experiences. We need to see with our eyes, we need to act with our hands in order to see the beautiful manifestation of YaHuWaH, in order to have the memories again, to see how Sihon and Og are being defeated, to have those memories in our own experiences, because that's going to help us in order to remove any doubt. That's going to help us in order to remove any fear. That's going to help us in order to become strong and courageous, to shine the light of YaHuWaH in these times of darkness. So we need to seek more than ever the truth and also the power of the Ruach of Elohim in us. And I think YaHuWaH is so compassionate that in the same way that he has been guiding us to learn his Torah all these years, he is going to guide us step by step, guiding us like a father, teaching his son to walk. I saw that in a movie, in a video, in a music, a song that the very handsome sent to me. The song is related to children. And a father, just holding the hands of the small son and teaching him to walk. He did it with Torah. He's going to do it with the Ruach of Elohim. We need to be willing. We need to be willing to receive the knowledge in order to have well prepared with all the weapons that are coming from Shamayim in order to fight the spiritual battle in this time, because YaHuWaH needs you. And yes, YaHuWaH needs us. He's powerful enough in order to do things by his hands, but this is not the way he acts. He acts through his children. So he needs us in order to manifest his light in this world. That's why YaHuWaH came as the light of the world. And that's why YaHuWaH said that we are the light of the world. If we are not coming back to him completely and we're not pursuing to know him completely, in spirit and in truth, we are not helping him. He needs you and us in order to fulfill his purposes in this generation. So pray about it and meditate about it, because these times are so critical, and he chose you for this time of the history of humankind.
And he knows that we can endure, and that we are going to have in our mind that every pain, every difficult moment, we know and we have that faith that are going to disappear very soon. They are going to be nothing. They're going to be removed. And we are going only to have the joy that he wants to give us. And that's why he needs us to continue providing all the love, all the joy that he has for us.
Use every opportunity that Allah is putting in front of you in order to bring the light. Even if you have to go to places of darkness, go without fear, not allowing darkness to go inside you, because you have the light of YaHuWaH, Yahushua, and the Ruach with you in order to shine the same way that we were discussing at the beginning of the broadcast, to bring that light into those places of darkness. You need to do something. You need to share. So YaHuWaH will open the doors for you to share that light. It's not to go and to become a sinner, because Yahushua never commits sin. Even though he was going to partake time and even food with sinners, he was bringing light and telling the people what sin is, and telling them, sin no more. This is the true path. This is the true way. Follow me. This is exactly what we have to do. Use each opportunity that YaHuWaH is bringing to your door. And again, as I said, you will feel that fire in your heart when the Ruach is moving you. You will have no doubt, because you will feel it inside of you what you have to do. So it's time that we need to act without fear, being strong and courageous. Okay? So we're taking a look now in the chat. So if you have any comment or question you want to to bring to our attention, we just here taking a look in the chat, so please let us know. Shalom for now. Little coffee and the fun begins. It's 1897 reprint from 1739. Thanks. If you're getting beat down, know you are on the right path. That's true, Pam. Sometimes we are going through some difficulties, but this is a kind of evidence that we are in the right path.
And also because in that way we can relate with the rest of the people. If we have never experienced any difficult moment, how we are going to try to help somebody else who is in that position?
Absolutely. You know, I have learned this tough lesson is that the only way to be in the shoes of the people, understanding what they're going through, is to be there. And sometimes that's why we need to go through difficulties in order to be able to understand what the other people are going through, and in order to be able to guide them.
And not to push them,
Yes.
just to help them.
So it seems that Sister Payne is going through difficulties. We're praying for you, dear sister. So be strong and courageous as we were studying today. Every need that your people have, YaHuWaH, let it be manifest this day, YaHuWaH, Yahusha. Beautiful. I had a bad dream that it was dark and we were standing at a big door with lanterns. My light went completely out of nowhere, and I knew I had plenty of oil. I cried and cried. So let me tell you, you know, I'm going to share my dream. I was sharing it with Camila by email. I had a similar dream, Sister Payne. I was in an open place of darkness. It was very dark. I saw priests from the Catholic Church also being there. In one moment, I was walking in a trench, and I was a priest also walking in front of me. It was very dark, and you know, I was feeling myself a lot of fear. And in one moment, you know, I shout and I cry out. I said, "You are the light of my life." In the middle of the darkness, I was crying out to YaHuWaH and said, "You are the light of my life." You know, the beautiful thing is that I kind of woke up after that, but I was in the middle between still dreaming and a bit awake, and I was still, you know, having this spiritual battle, because I saw even a dog, a very, you know, how to say it?
Fierce dog?
Fierce, yeah, that's the word. Fierce dog trying to bite me. And then you were waking me up. And you know, the weird thing is that, you know, when I asked you, I still remember myself crying out very loudly. And I think even I was crying, you know, I was shouting. And because you heard me, I was shouting, and I remember the words. I said it in Spanish, but I said, "You are the light of my life." When I asked you, you heard that I was speaking in a different language.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I was saying, "You are the light of my life," and she was listening to me speaking in I don't know what language. So yeah, I think that dream, the one that I have, and maybe the dream you had, Sister Payne, is because we are living in those days of darkness.
They are trying to do that.
It's just a matter to look around us, and we see darkness all over the place. And the point is that when we take a look so much on the darkness, we can become fearful. So I think that's why when I was shouting, it was a kind of shout of desperation and asking Abba and remembering that He is the light, and that light is with us. So that's why, you know, this portion, the one that we were studying today, is so relevant. Is that though that we see darkness, so that we see that it's dreadful, and we can feel fear, we need to remember that in order to remove fear is that we have the light, and we are the light, that YaHuWaH is with us. So even though that everything is dark, we are in that place in order to shine the light of the world, that is Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yeah, there are some dreams that are very prophetic, but there are some others that are only warnings, so we can be cautious about what Abba is trying to tell us. So maybe in that case is that he's telling you, yeah, you have enough oil, maybe knowledge, the spiritual thing, but you have to take care of how you're taking care of your light being on. So I think that you have to take it like that and pray. So nothing is going to stumble.
Even sometimes it's difficult on dreams, but if we are a kind of conscious in the dreams, we need to cry out, we need to fight those spiritual battles in the dreams and also in real life. As I said before, we need to start looking at things with spiritual eyes, things that are happening in front of us through people, even through children. And we talked a few weeks ago, people that are happening around us. Sometimes without knowing, people are being led by evil spirits in order to attack us
and discourage us.
So we need to fight that battle spiritually, and the way we do it is to remember everything that we have been talking in this portion, and also during dreams.
Yeah.
So David, you also had this kind of experience. Lantern.
Well,
was enough, that light is the light of the truth.
So we have to be careful about our light.
Absolutely. We need to keep that light burning and shining. Okay. You see, those are spiritual attacks. We see Dennis talking about that she also had a dream. She was yelling. We are under attack. Believe me, we are under a spiritual attack. That's why we need to put the full armor of Elohim. And we need to be prepared. We need to learn how to fight, spiritual speaking. Don't use your hands. Use the Ruach in you. And if you don't know how to do it, ask Abba. Teach me how to fight spiritually. Teach me of your Ruach. He is faithful enough in order to teach us in these days, because, as I said, he needs us. He wants to use us. It's just a matter to go back to him with all our heart, to pursue to know him, as we were reading in the book of Hosea. So let me go back, scroll down here. Thanks for sharing. Absolutely wonderful to see you, Harmony. My dreams usually involve water or swimming in water.
Yeah, me too.
That's beautiful. Like the enemy came out of nowhere. Okay. His will be done. Wearing white. Wow. Beautiful. Amazing. There's usually a light at the top of the water, like I'm swimming towards it. Water can represent the world, people. It can represent the Ruach as well. We are living times of spiritual attack. Absolutely, Daniel. That's why we need to become strong and courageous. The only way to become strong and courageous is, again, with the promise of Yahushua. We will receive power in order to fight. That's the way we are going to be strong.
Somehow maybe to try to have always his name as the first thing in our mouth and in our heart. Yeah.
And that's true, Yerash. We need to use the sword. And I like it the way you put it. It's the S word. And I have a short study that I need to prepare about that. It's something that I saw. I have it just in my mind about the double-edged sword. And I think it's something really important that is complementing everything we have been talking today. So pray for me to have time and also focus. I'm currently writing a document. It's something that is for us, actually. It's a study of the word, but in one moment most probably we need to share it. It's a kind of controversial truth, but I'm putting focus on that. So pray for me in order to have focus and also time to prepare the other study. Amen. Juan Carlos, what an amazing blessing to know he's speaking to us so powerfully in these final moments. Absolutely, Camila. We are in final moments. Sword is the word of Yah. Absolutely, Yerash. Amen. We pray over our home and property every day. We need to do that. We need to pray for our family. We need to pray for our places. We need to pray for our children. We need to pray for our parents. We need to pray for the mishpacha. We need to pray for everything, you know, even the places we are in or we are going. Thank you so much, Brigida Rojas. We hope to see you on Monday morning, early in the morning.
Very early.
Okay, praying in the Ruach, absolutely, Debbie. We need to pray in the Ruach. We need to pray in the Ruach, and we need to pray with understanding. We need to pray in the two ways. We need to learn how to pray in the Ruach, you know, and the only one that he's going to teach you how to pray in the Ruach is him. It's the baptizer in the Ruach. It's YaHuWaH HaMashiach. So you need to seek him in order to learn how to pray in the Ruach. So, okay, let's keep it till here. It's been a blessing, like always. Oops, we took more time than expected, and we need to feed a 13-year-old boy that is waiting for us. So thank you so much for being with us today, and it's always a blessing and wonderful time to share the word of YaHuWaH. It's something that is filling our heart. You know, I feel my chest like this, you know, by the presence of the Ruach. And let's keep our brothers and sisters in prayers. You know, I saw almost 57, I think, connected today. Not everybody is participating in the chat, and we respect that. But I want you to know that we know you are with us here. And it's a beautiful thing that knowing that you are with us here, also studying with us the word of YaHuWaH. And we hope in the same way that we know, and we hope that the people that are joining in the chat actively, having the blessing of these studies, we hope also for you that are not here live, are not in the chat, also this is blessing to you all. We do it with all our hearts, with the only desire to serve YaHuWaH. We are not any pastors, we are not any teachers, we are just a brother and a sister that we want to serve YaHuWaH with all our hearts by sharing what we have seen in the word, what we have learned, in order to serve this for you as an additional insight in your own walk in the way of YaHuWaH. And also to have, you know, this feeling of love, of to know that we are all together, doesn't matter the distance, is that we are being echad in him through his Ruach. So thank you once again to being with us, and we pray to YaHuWaH that you are going to have a Baruch, a blessed Shabbat, and also a blessed new week. And prepare yourself, you know, it's coming Yom HaKippurim. We're going to keep Yom HaKippurim on Friday next week. And we are preparing ourselves also for Sukkot. So we will be praying for you. So we ask you to keep us in your prayers too. Okay? That's it. So thank you so much. We're going to finish like always with a song. Let me put it here. And YaHuWaH be with you all. Shabbat Shalom. See you next week. Bye.
איני יודע את העתיד, ולא בטוח מה המחר יגיד, אך אני מכיר אותך, ואין לי ספק בך. אולי יהיה קל, אולי קשה, ואין יודע מה היום יקרה, אך אני מכיר אותך, ואין לי ספק בך. יגידו אחרים אחרת, תמיד אקשיב רק לקולך, כי האמת שלך גוברת על כל עובדה. אם עד עכשיו קיימת כל מילה שנאמרה, אני אמשיך בך לפתוח בלי בושה. אני יודע שגואלי חי, הוא לא בקבר, הוא קם מן המתים, אז גם אני קם ונאחז רק בו. העתיד כולו שייך לאלף ואתה. עדיין אין לי את כל התשובות, אפילו יש לי קצת שאלות, אך אני מכיר אותך ואין לי ספק בך. גם אם הרחקתי אתה קרוב, גם אם הרעתי אתה עדיין טוב. אני מכיר אותך ואין לי ספק בך. יגידו אחרים אחרת, תמיד אקשיב רק לקולך, כי האמת שלך גוברת על כל עובדה. אם עד עכשיו קיימת כל מילה שנאמרה, אני אמשיך בך לפתוח בלי בושה. כי אני יודע שגורלי חי הוא לא בקבר, הוא קם מן המתים, אז גם אני קם ונאחז רק בו, כי העתיד כולו שייך לאלף ואתה. אני יודע שגורלי חי הוא לא בקבר, הוא קם מן המתים, אז גם אני קם ונאחז רק בו, כי העתיד כולו שייך לאלף ואתה. אני יודע שגורלי חי הוא לא בקבר, הוא קם מן המתים, אז גם אני קם ונאחז רק בו, כי העתיד כולו שייך לאלף ואתה. אני יודע שגורלי חי הוא לא בקבר, הוא קם מן המתים.